Hi, and welcome to The Bright Balloon, a podcast where I'm sharing bright ideas for your balloon business. My name is Sarah Meyer, and I'm a balloon business owner like you, and I love the creative side of what I do, but I really love the business side, which seems to be the part where most people struggle. So I'm here to help. Each week, I'm bringing you an episode full of bite-sized tips you can use to make improvements in your business. I want you to make more money, eliminate stress, and learn along with me as we grow our creative businesses together. Welcome to The Bright Balloon, presented by 17 Hats. Hey friends, the next time you need to order supplies for your professional balloon business, head over to Havin' a Party Wholesale. They carry all of the brands that we love and need to run our profitable balloon businesses, and they are family owned and operated, and they know the business inside and out. They've even offered listeners of the podcast a 5% off coupon code when you use the code BRIGHT at checkout. So next time you need to order, head over to havinaparty.com. Hello and welcome to another episode. Today I'm chatting with my friend Misty, who is the owner of Balloons by Misty, and she is sharing all about deliverables and her super unique pricing structure. She has developed a tier system, which essentially gives her designer choice every single time. It's a really interesting interview, and I had several light bulb moments, and I'm going to implement several of these things in my business. So thank you to Misty for coming on this episode and sharing all about your deliverables and your pricing. I think a lot of people are going to have takeaways from this episode. So we are going to hear from a sponsor and then get right into this interview with Misty from Balloons by Misty.
Hi, this is Jeff from Balloon Suite by Asset Lab. We help balloon decor businesses bring in more sales and leads with a high-tech toolkit that includes your website, your domain, your advertising, your search engine optimization. Our plans start at $50 a month, and we'll even buy out your Wix or Squarespace or GoDaddy subscription to help you get onto a platform that's made for and optimized for your business in balloon decor. Check us out at balloonsuite.com.
All right, welcome to this episode, Misty, one of my good friends. We are old Balloon Boss Mastermind and Summit friends, and I feel like you and I have very similar ways of running our businesses. I feel like they revolve around simplicity and just making things really easy for customers. So we are going to talk about your deliveries, your pricing, all sorts of things. But before we jump in, give us an introduction about who you are and where your business is.
Yeah, I'm Misty Kaufman. I am the owner of Balloons by Misty in Grand Forks, North Dakota, which is an hour from the Canadian border, about 5 minutes from the Minnesota border. So we're right up in the corner there. So our delivery area, we do a lot of in-town deliveries, but we do a lot of, I've gone up to 3 hours away for some of our bigger cities to do things for, especially gymnastics meets, because my kids have been involved with that. So, and we do quite a lot about an hour and 15 minutes away in Fargo, which is the biggest town in the state. So,
okay, cool. So when you talk about deliveries, I guess what defines a delivery item?
For us, it's anything that we can deliver in my minivan.
Okay.
But I can deliver a 30-foot arch in my minivan.
So would you call that a delivery?
Yep, I would if I'm delivering it and setting it up. Yep.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, but most of our deliveries are, what we call our celebration arrangements. So those are marquees. So we have our celebration arrangements. We have indoor celebration stands, which are basically party poles on a knot lamp inside. We started using these adjustable type stands that I found on Amazon that I absolutely love. So it makes it very versatile size-wise and easier for people to pick up as well. And then we do what we call mixed celebration, which is basically a marquee and add some helium to it. And then we do helium deliveries as well. But
okay, awesome. I'm loving everything you're saying. I can tell by the words you're using, I'm already going to love this. Like the mixed bouquet, or like I just had this epiphany the other day that I am putting myself in a terrible situation because I call my bouquets a 13 balloon arrangement. And it's like, there better be 13 balloons there versus just being like, maybe there's 12, maybe there's 15. Yeah. So tell me more about that.
Yep. So our pricing is way different than anybody else because after I had to figure out how I could simplify things for me,
Hmm.
because I run my business kind of by myself. My daughter does help like with the creation of stuff, but the business side is all me. So I needed the ordering and all of that stuff to be as simple as possible. And what I found after going through your little class on your garlands and your nuggets, I had this epiphany as I was changing my prices that year. And I thought, oh, I should just price all my stuff in nuggets. But I didn't really want the term nugget because that didn't make sense. But so we call them tiers.
Yeah.
And everything that we do has a 5 tier system. So we have a 40, 60, 80, 100, and then $150 level for all of those for our celebration arrangements, our indoor celebration stands, and our mixed celebration arrangements, which are the helium and whatever. And then also we do the same, we have a tiered system for our helium bouquets and our garlands and everything else, basically the same as your garlands. So, and by doing that, because I know a lot of people will do like the good, better, best.
Hmm.
Um, we chose to do the tier level and we added little stars to each thing because then it's a mental thing as they're looking through it. And I've actually had people tell me, well, I don't have anyone to impress. So, like a 2 to 3 star is good.
Okay.
Or I've actually had people say, so and so is coming. We want this to be a 5 star event. And so they'll choose the 5 star pricing. And so then we can design whatever we're making to fit that. So I always tell our customers our things are like snowflakes, no two are alike, but they can go on our website and see what something in that price tier might look like.
Hmm.
And we've learned to price out the components of things so that we're not having to constantly figure out how much something is. So, for instance, a jumbo foil number, which we consider 26-inch and up, we are going to charge $15 for that. And helium, we charge $17.50 now, but up until just recently, we were charging $15 across the board. So whether it was going into our celebration arrangement or a helium, it was 15. We bubbles are 15 to 20, depending on the size. A quad, an 11-inch quad, is $5. So if we're adding 2 quads, it's gonna be 5, 10. And then our little sets of what we call our minis, the 5 inchers that we're going to put on, we usually will do 2 sets of those for $5. Like, so it's a set, like 1 and 2 for $5. The little curly cues, 2 of those are $5.
Okay, so this seems overwhelming to me, but I think it's because like I'm not working with all of these components or like
Oh, yep.
building blocks. But
Yep.
so you kind of mentally know what each thing costs.
Yep.
Your
So, like,
customers
for
don't know
instance,
that.
right, the customers don't know. Just
Okay.
so, for instance, an 18-inch foil balloon, I'm going to charge $5 across the board because I don't want to have to worry. This started because I didn't want to worry, like, was this a 50-cent balloon or was this a $1.78 balloon?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Right.
want to use it and I want to put it in. So I'm going to charge $5. So if I use the $1.78 one this time and the 50-cent one next time, it's all going to come out even. We have for our foils, we do 3 different price basically blocks for that. We have a $5 level, which is the 18-inch, and the minis. We charge $5 a piece for those that we add in as well, because by time you're adding in the U glue and the time to air seal it and all that other stuff, time wise, you're about $5. So we're at $5 either way for an 18-inch or the mini foils. And then the mid-size ones, we charge $10 and then 15 for the jumbos. And then we also, if we're adding vinyl to like an 18-inch, we just charge $15.
Okay.
So we know that that's $15. And so we can add up easily all of those different pieces. A twisted flower for us is $5, and that usually includes the twisted flower with the little, green curly coming off of it. Basically, just sitting out and figuring out what you want to price your components at then makes it really easy to do how I do, where someone's going to call and say, okay, I want a $40 Spider-Man arrangement. Great. I have Spider-Man balloons. So I'm going to go to my thing and I'm just going to pull out a Spider-Man foil. That's going to be $5. I'm going to add in, maybe a happy birthday balloon. That's going to be another $5. I'm going to add two things of, quads on the bottom. So that's going to be 10. I upped my prices sort of, but not really, because I added in what we call our $5 designer fee. So now they're not getting anything for that $5. They don't know that they're not getting anything for that $5, but I was able to save myself some money and basically raise my prices without them having to be raised, which they appreciated, especially during this time of, inflation and everything going up. So, and I like for people to be able to choose whatever budget they want, I feel like that's important. And especially, there's a lot of times when you're running your business from home, if this is your full-time job or if it's just a side hustle and you don't have anything going on, a $40 arrangement, 3 or 4 of those during the week really start to add up.
Yeah, that pays your cable bill or your streaming service for, Netflix and something else. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're really easy to make up when you can just price out the components. And so then you're just going, if this is an $80 one, okay, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, and you just keep adding it up until you get to, your budget.
Well, what I like about it is that it keeps us in check as the designers. Right. Otherwise, I think it's so easy to get carried away because we're like, that doesn't look like $40. I got to add more. And then all of a sudden you're giving someone an $80 bouquet just because you wanted it to look good.
So this all kind of came about because of that exact reason. So my daughter was working with me and I would just keep adding stuff because I was like, ooh, I should add a little cluster here or twist some, something to add here. And she's like, Mom, that's money. You're just giving it away. Like you already have, like, it's fine. And I was like, no, but it would look, and she's like, Mom, you could keep adding stuff all day. And that's the truth. Like, especially with those marquees, like you can keep adding and adding and adding and adding till you're blue in the face and you're just using your money out the door. So by doing this, it still allows me some wiggle room and I'm able to say, I'm able still to make that decision. But oftentimes when I do that, I will, when the customer comes to pick it up or I deliver it, I just say, I just want you to know we added something in extra. Next time, this wouldn't necessarily be at this level, but we had this around and we thought it would really add to it. And so I'm just straightforward with them. So that if someone asks, then their friend's like, well, I ordered a $40 arrangement and mine wasn't that big or whatever. It just kind of depends,
Right. That way they could say, well, this was an extra because I was a first-time customer or something like that.
Yeah. Or like the first time I do something, I may only charge so much for it. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh, that took a long time. I'm going to charge more the next time. And then we just kind of keep track, mentally or physically on a piece of paper, like, okay, what do we want to charge for this the next time we do it?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But it really makes it easy to price out anything. So like when I'm looking at people's stuff online or people like will post like, oh, how much would you charge for this? I know exactly how much I would charge. I can generally hand it to any one of my kids, even my kids who don't necessarily do balloons, and they can price it out as well because we've figured out that component issue so that literally any of them could put together something, which really allows me to be able to just be creative with whatever we're doing.
I love that. Well, and in case someone doesn't know what you're talking about at the very, very beginning, you compared it to how I price my garland with nuggets. Same thing. I can look at a picture and I have no idea how many linear feet of garland it is. That's kind of like the industry standard. It's never really made sense to me because you're never hanging your garland in a straight line. You're overlapping and you're puddling and it's going around things. So from the beginning, I got away from that. And I think of mine basically, like you're saying, components. And I can kind of see like, that's maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to say 5 and price it at that. So that's where that comparison is. That I think that's really smart. I like that idea of kind of chunking everything out into measurable pieces. I mean, that's great.
And it makes it easier for the customers. I feel like, I don't know, a lot of people say, I don't know why your customers would like choose to just order something that they didn't necessarily
that was going to be my next question. How have you built that trust?
For me, well, number one, everything on my website is 100% my work. Like I'm not going to take your garland and post on my website. I'm not going to take one of your marquees and post on my website. It's literally all stuff I've done. So I make sure my customers understand that everything on my website is that. But we just tell them we want to help you celebrate the person that this is for. And it's not special. Like if you go to Party City and you grab a 5-piece bouquet with a helium balloon and the 5 or 4 foils.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about that.
Right.
Nothing. Yes, you thought about it. Yes, you went and got it, but there's nothing that actually makes that special for the person. So the way we do it, I'm always thinking of the person who it's being created for, whatever it's for. And so, we add a lot of vinyl personalization to things because that's an easy way to make someone feel special. Add your name to it, especially in today's society where 90% of the people are never going to find their names printed on a keychain or a pencil or whatever. So especially those kids whose parents write down and it's some random name or spelled a different way, those kids are for sure getting their name somewhere in that arrangement because it just makes them feel extra special. We ask them, what is your theme? What is the occasion? So I'm doing later this week, we're doing for a 5-year sobriety. So I plan to do a big 5 and a bunch of balloon flowers in celebration of that. And we take the theme and we'll just figure it out. And that way I also can just use whatever stock I have. So if I don't have a Spider-Man balloon, okay, maybe I'm going to twist a Spider-Man. Maybe I'm going to print vinyl on the Spider-Man. Maybe I'm going to use his name, but the Spider-Man font when I write his name on there. Maybe I'm going to add a spider web to it. There's so many different ways that you can do Spider-Man versus having that printed Spider-Man foil balloon.
Yeah.
And it doesn't require that. So
and this is not a knock on anyone who does Balloon Planet, but I very early realized I literally couldn't keep that inventory and I couldn't organize that inventory because when they order, they're ordering like those exact balloons. And I just knew that wouldn't work for me. So I feel like the way you have it set up is much more how my brain works, how my creative process works. And I think it leaves, like you said, it leaves some leeway to use what you have and not worry about what you don't have.
And we just make it very clear on our website, like we're balloon artists. That's what we do. I'm not an inflator. If you want balloons inflated, go to Party City because that's, and that's what sets me aside is all of those personal touches and all the things that I do to make it special for whoever's getting it. And there have been times when I have something in mind and I, go to set it up and something doesn't work out. And it actually, by the end, I'm like, oh, this is the way it was supposed to be. Like, it's so much better than what I had envisioned when I first set out. And, I do tell my customers, I know it's hard for you to trust me, but if you like the work that you see, you're going to like whatever you get. And
have you ever had someone who didn't?
I did. And that customer was very specific in all of their directions. Like they had in their mind what they, I guess, if they were a balloon designer, would have designed.
Yeah.
Well, she had imagined that there was going to be like 140 balloons in this like $60 bouquet.
Yeah.
So there was, first off, that was just unreasonable. And I made it and she picked it up. They had their party, posted all kinds of pictures. Everybody was commenting how lovely the balloons were, da, da, da. And then the next Monday, so that was like a Saturday, the next Monday afternoon, she messages and was like, I'm not happy with the way the balloons turned out. And I really think she just wanted her money back. Like whatever. And it was kind of I finally came to the realization and I told her, I'm just going to refund your money because I could tell that she was one of those people. And it actually worked out for the best. Like her daughter started stalking my personal page. It was crazy. But I realized after that, if somebody messages and they're extremely specific with stuff, I just say, oh, I'm sorry, we're booked.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good fit. I know it. And I think that takes some time, to figure out those people.
Yeah, because I had another lady last year with the simplest thing. It was a smiley face. She wanted a cardboard grad hat on top. She came to pick it up and she's like, those are not the dimensions I gave you. I'm like, the dimensions you gave me would make it like out of a 5-inch, like it was tiny. And I was like, that doesn't even make any sense. And she was furious. Well, this is going to be too big. And I actually knew her daughter-in-law. And so I called and I was like, what is that? She's like, I apologize so much. She's like,
Oh my gosh.
she's just like that with everybody. And I was like, those people, I just have learned like I'm not going to be able to suit them. So I just say, I'm sorry, I'm booked.
Yeah.
Because, maybe I'm not, but I can't, I know I'm not going to be able to make them happy no matter what. And I've had to learn that that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. But other than those, maybe three people total, and one was once someone who ordered something and she just wanted the exact same balloons that were in this photo that she sent me, which was one of my photos, but someone had Instagram filtered it. So when
Oh,
she came to pick it up, she's like, these aren't the same colors. And I said, it's the exact same balloons that I used last week in that other thing. And she's like, no, these are not. And she like pulls up the thing and I'm like, yeah, that's an Instagram filter. Those balloons don't even exist.
yeah. Yeah.
And she was just furious. And I'm like, take it home and put it through Instagram and you'll have the same thing. Like I can't magically make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's
So
funny.
yeah.
Will I see you at Float 2024? In 2024, Float will celebrate its 10th official convention, so save the dates to join us in the Chicago area for what is sure to be a once-in-a-lifetime celebration. March 10th through the 14th, 2024, with pre-convention activities March 8th and 9th in Lombard, Illinois. And there's so much more to the Floativerse than just a convention every 2 years. Between weekly shows, monthly classes, an annual global art project, and more, Float is more than an event. It's a culture, a community, and a phenomenon. And don't forget, I'm sponsoring one lucky winner to attend Float for free. So make sure you are signed up for the Bright Balloon newsletter using the link in the show notes wherever you are listening for a chance to win. But don't use this as an excuse to delay purchasing your ticket, because even if you win, we will reimburse you. Trust me, you don't want to miss this convention specifically for balloon decorators. All right, welcome back. So much good information about deliverables and gaining back control from your customers. I've loved this conversation, but I'm on your website and I'm looking at how people can actually place their orders. And it looks like a lot of this is pretty automated. So why don't you talk about kind of how you've set up some of these options? I mean, I'm seeing like people can set up consultations with you right on your website. So talk about that.
Yep. So I use Thrive for my customer management and website. And so they're going to be able to book on there if they want to schedule their balloons or a phone consultation or a site visit or whatever. All of that can be kind of scheduled right on there. As they order, if they're going to schedule balloons, it will schedule the date and the time, which goes automatically into my Google Calendar.
So is this for everybody, or is this just for these deliveries? Or like, can someone schedule like a huge corporate party?
Yep, everybody.
That's
kind of
awesome.
does on there. Yep. So then when it goes down the questions that it's going to ask them, it will get to what they're looking for, what they want. And sometimes they have no idea. A lot of customers don't know what they want. They just want balloons.
Yeah.
They don't know. Anyway, they'll kind of write what they want. It'll ask the colors, a theme, what the occasion is that they're celebrating or why they're wanting balloons, their price range. So then I have all of that. So it doesn't automatically send them an invoice.
Okay.
My graduation ones did because they had to put a $40 deposit down, which then if they were ordering graduation balloons, like say they had a $250, what we called Balloon My Party, where I just make up $250 worth of decorations. Then they would pay, it would automatically just send them the $40 deposit. And then I would have the option to follow up and give them some details or ask more questions.
Okay, I have a question about that because I have been mulling that around in my brain with this basically opportunity for people to just like priority book. Like before I even talk to you, save your date with like $100 deposit or something. Yep. But I'm afraid, like you said before, like some terrible customer that's just not going to work well with me. Like what if they do that? Have you ever had that backfire when someone books and then it's not a good fit?
Yep, there was someone who just for graduation season, she booked and she wanted like probably $300 worth of garland. And she's like, well, that's just not worth it. And she had already paid the $40 deposit, which I said was a non-refundable deposit. But I just deposited her money and got rid of her. You know, I was like, I'm sorry. My prices are clearly stated on my website. So I don't know how you didn't understand that this was going to be more
So
than
you
that,
refunded her and just let her go?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was the end of it. So yeah, it was fine and I moved on.
And then does Thrive like check your own calendar? Like what if you have a family vacation? Has anyone ever booked on a date when you're just like not
Yep,
available?
so I can enter in when I'm available and when I'm not available.
Okay,
So
cool.
like I can go in and say something comes up next week, but I've already had people booking or whatever. But I don't want anybody else to keep booking because I've already figured out what I'm gonna do. I can just go in and quickly change and say no booking, during this time or
Oh, that's
whatever.
neat.
So yeah, it's very easy to switch that around. But so they'll answer all of those questions. And then once I see it, most of the time it's very straightforward. I want a celebration arrangement, which we call our tabletop celebration arrangement. Which is like marquees, what other people call them. I want a $40 to $150 one, and I want it to be, so for instance, we just did a $150 one that was John Deere and garden themed, so vegetables. So we made up some twisted vegetables to put on
Cute.
there, big 5-7 in green letters or green numbers because we carry those a lot because of our college. So we just, kind of make whatever up we want, which works out really fun because a lot of times we'll see our friends posting these amazing things and you're like, oh, I wish I had a unicorn event. Well, that might, it might not happen.
Yes,
And so then when one does pop up, you're like, oh, remember that unicorn that Sarah made? I'm going to make that or whatever. You had made I think the big peace sign thing.
Oh yeah, with the circle frame.
For the Qualitex convention thing. And I wanted to make that so bad, but I didn't really have a reason. And then somebody ordered something similar and I said, ooh, what about this? And they're like, oh, sure, no problem.
That's awesome.
And so it gives us the opportunity to make the things that we want while using what we have.
Yeah.
There are times when maybe I forgot to order something that went along with it. Well, we can create that by a twisted balloon or vinyl or whatever. And they're never going to know that it wasn't the way it wasn't,
right. Right. This totally brings me back to like COVID times. I was doing party polls like a crazy person. And it was fun because it was like the only thing people were saying was how old their child was turning and like maybe their favorite colors. But other than that, it was like a ton of freedom. All the photos like were the same, but different. Like, I don't know. It was fun. I did like doing
and
that.
I think for me, that's probably what helped is because I just kind of started this during COVID as far as like, this is what we're doing. And it kind of has I've never wavered from that. So my customers don't know any different.
Yeah.
They don't know. I've had corporate parties that literally just tell me, here's my budget and here's the colors we want. And that was it.
That's awesome.
Like they didn't know what they were getting. Like they knew they wanted something for the stage. They knew they wanted, something for the entrance, but that was it. And so then we just kind of were looking through some things and we're like, oh, look at this cool frame with these flowers. Wouldn't that look so awesome? And so we had the opportunity to make it up. And it wouldn't have necessarily been something that I would have pitched them.
Yeah.
But they loved it.
Yeah.
And we got to do something that we wanted. So
yeah, no, I love that. And I just last week I was talking to a couple girlfriends and I kind of had one of those events too. It was a big college reunion weekend and they had ordered so many like different things. I knew that their last minute helium bouquets that they added on there weren't anything that people were going to like really be looking at or care about.
Right.
So it was like, I had charged them for my standard 13 balloon arrangement and it's just 11-inch balloons and I'm just sick of making them. And I feel like they always look so underwhelming for the amount of time that it takes for me to make a bouquet like that.
Right.
So I just went for it. And instead of doing all 11-inch, I was like, do they really care? Do they really want this? I switched it out. I did like an orb in there. I did a couple of S curves. I did some foils that I had. And there weren't even 13 balloons. There were like 10 balloons and it looked
they didn't care
10 times better. It looked so much better that it had that variety. That's why I was texting my friends. I was like, I have to go this direction because like sticking to this very concrete, 13 latex balloons, like it's not even serving my clients anymore. It just makes the ordering easy. So this is going to be my solution. I'm going to swap that out and I still want the ordering to be easy, but yeah, like they're not going to care if I just say like, oh, a celebration bouquet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. They just want the budget and balloons. Like they don't care. They do not care. I can guarantee your customers at the end of the day don't care if there was 13 balloons or your amazing, 8 or 9 balloons. Like they don't care. They
Right,
just
right. So
want something that's going to look nice. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to start switching things up. Before we wrap up, let's talk about the actual delivery because I know you add a little signature
Yep,
goodie on there that we
I
want to chat
do.
about. What comes along with all of your pieces?
So whenever we deliver, we add on what we call our balloon tags. They are from a company called schoollife.com, which actually is balloontags.com. They created their own website for us, but they're about an inch, 2 inches around for the tallest one. They come in all different shapes. There's stars and hearts and circles and
They're kind
dog
of like
tags and
those things you have
balloons.
at the grocery store to like
Yep, the
scan your
key tag.
perks
Yep.
card, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And so I've ordered them in lots of different shapes and for different things. So we had a special one for graduation that we added to all of our graduation ones that said congrats grad. And then on the back has Balloons by Misty. And that was it for the graduation tag because graduates aren't going to be reordering balloons.
Right,
They don't
right.
need to scan my website or anything like that. But most of them have my QR code, which takes them to my website. So we just add that on. If it's going to be delivered in a bag, we add it to outside the bag. If it's something that we're not delivering in a bag, when it's warm out, we don't necessarily put everything in a bag. Then we just attach it with a little card that we've also used. I used Canva to print up just like you would when you go to the florist and get the little card that says get well or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We just printed up some that says just for you and has our logo and our branding colors. And then I can add a quick little, like you ordered something for somebody that says get well. And so I'm just going to write get well, heart Sarah, and add that, tape it
So you
onto my
do
tag and send
customize.
it
That's
off. Yep.
smart.
And
Yeah.
it has my logo on it again. So it's not just a standard little get well message or, those other pre-printed things, but
And the balloon tags, they're nice because they're kind of like laminated, aren't they?
yep. So they're laminated. So they're waterproof. So you can, stick them on outdoor deliveries. That's kind of how I got started with them. During COVID, I was
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of the yard polls and stuff, and people were, oh, I put this card on there and I do this and I do that. And I stickers, whatever. And I remembered these tags that we had done for a school event because I was in the PTO organization. And I thought I could design some with my balloon business. And so we did. And then I kind of have just gotten rid of my business cards and I use them as business cards because if I'm going to a networking event, to have my business cards in my pocket, generally they're going to get crunched or, whatever. Or, I get business cards at those events and they end up in my pocket. And then when I'm washing my clothes, I'm like, oh no, it was in there. And now I don't
Yeah.
have any of that information. But these, I know because someone posted on the Balloon Boss site can go through the washer
That's so
multiple
smart.
times and still look
Literally,
the
I mean,
same.
people listening can't see, but like this is my business card I just got from a very important contact and it's like crumpled up and about ripped in half and I'm like hoping I don't lose it,
Yeah.
but oh
Yeah.
man.
And these tags, they come with a little hole already punched in them. So we always just use a big rubber band to loop through there,
Mm,
like a slip knot type thing to add on to whatever. Or if you're using it as a business card, if you have it in your pocket and you hand it to someone, they're like, oh, this is cool. They just put it on their keychain
huh.
because it already has that hole. And so now you're on their keychain.
That's so awesome.
And we found that like most people don't necessarily just take it off and throw it away because it is a hard plastic. So they're like, oh, and then they'll give it to their kid or whatever, and it's laying around the house.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like the grocery tag or whatever. So yeah, they really are great. You can personalize them for everything. We have them for I made up some for Easter that have a cute little bunny. We have ones that say that we did for Valentine's Day, but I use them generally that just say sending love. We made up ones for graduation, special ones for Christmas.
And the one you're holding as you talk to me, it's shaped like a balloon. That's so cute.
Yep. So there's balloon shapes. Yep. They made up some balloons. Yeah.
And,
And they're two.
and this isn't your
two-sided.
company. I mean, you're glowing
it's not
about it.
mine.
You're talking about it like it's
Yeah.
yours, but you're just a fan of this company that
I
then
am.
they just
You
leaned
can-
into the balloon industry and made us our own
you
website.
can design them any way you want, which is they're two-sided, so that's amazing. And they're relatively cheap. I want to say I know they just raised their prices, so maybe they're now like 17 cents a piece if you
Oh,
order by
wow.
the thousand.
That's less than my
Um,
business cards.
Yeah, you can order them in quantities less. I think they're like 22 cents if you order less than like 100 or something like
Okay.
that. But I order them in the thousands because why not?
Yeah.
But then I have them whenever we do gift certificates for giveaways or whatever, people ask for donations or whatever. My balloon tags are always a part of that. We've done them. My kids' shaved ice business, we've done them. When we were in the mall and had our business in the mall, we would do them that said like, get a free twisted balloon or a free helium balloon or whatever, because I could easily hand out a group of those to whoever came and asked me for a donation.
Yeah.
90% of those aren't coming back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people have them and they remember, oh, yeah, she donated it. We got that tag. They might not have the tag, but then they're going to come in and buy something anyway.
Okay. You know what I'm going to get them for? I haven't ordered yet, but I'm going to. I'm thinking about I like that they're waterproof. So I have a very small set of these marquee numbers now. I just have like a 1 through 9 or 0 through 9. And people leave those outside, but I realize there's nothing about my business on them.
Yep.
So worst case scenario, they're going to get lost. Best case scenario, someone else is going to want to know where they're from.
Yep.
And those I could just link those on the back of my marquee numbers. Or I was even thinking some of my framework and stands, you could just totally with a rubber band, like you said, slip it around the base of a column.
That's what we do. We U-glue them to the base of all of our things because we have, for us, 99% of our customers just return everything. We don't even go back for it. They'll just drop it off.
They bring it to you?
Yard.
So that's how they know how. I love it.
And so I just have it, my address and whatever on there, and I just U-glue it to the front or the bottom of the stand. And then, or if I'm doing a centerpiece, you glue it on the bottom of the centerpiece because, there's always somebody nosy who will pick it up to see oh, where did this come from?
Yeah.
So all of those opportunities, we just U-glue them on everywhere. We all stick them. If I'm doing a big arch for somebody, I might not, we did one for the college. I didn't put it on the front, but I did put it in an inconspicuous place around the back. And I had people scan the code because they're college students. And, I had several groups the law school or one of the fraternities called because they had scanned it from there.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of, I put it on all of my framing pieces and whatnot like that too. So yeah.
Oh, I'm totally going to do that. That is such
And then
I
saw Yanira, she did her walkthrough of her space today with Joette that she posted on Balloon Boss. And she had attached them with a little ribbon to a water bottle that she uses when she goes to trade shows or whatever.
Oh.
And yeah, I thought that was really cute.
They just look so much more elevated than a business card. Even a business card that then you punch a hole into. It's not the same. Those look so fancy. I love them.
Yeah. And the one that she added on the water bottle, I was like, oh my gosh, it just takes it to the next level.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that is so great. Well, let's wrap this up. This has been awesome. Where can people look at your stuff, learn about you, learn from you, any upcoming opportunities?
So I have been asked back to teach at Balloon Boss Summit again this year. So that's November 5th, I believe.
I don't know. No, it's my highlight of my November. That's all I know.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I will be there as well.
I know. I think I have to be there on the 5th. I'm not sure what other time people have to be there. Anyway, the first week of November.
We'll link to it so you can find the link easily.
Amazing opportunity to be with 100 other people in the class. And I think there's 30 plus and 30. I know for sure 31 instructors and mentors that will be helping you. I'm going to be helping with vinyl personalization specifically, and then talking and helping people with balloon tags if they want to order those. But yes, a great, great, great opportunity. And then the balloon tags can be found on balloontags.com. There is a Facebook group for balloon tags as well with just the balloon tags name.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And my stuff can be found at balloonsbymisty.com.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much. I have a literal look, I'm going to show you. So I'm not just saying it. I have a to-do list of things I'm going to do. I'm so excited. Anytime I get to buy something, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I'm going to order mine.
I think some of this stuff, it just makes it simpler. It makes things really easy to do. These tags, you could slip them on with I know you do the instructions for your garlands, for your grab and go garlands too. So, all of those things. It's just those little touches that sometimes go a really long way for the customer and make a big difference.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for teaching us all.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Welcome to the U-Glue Hotline, where we discuss great advice that sticks. Brought to you by Pro Tapes. If you have a question or some great advice to share, click the link in the show notes to call in and leave a voicemail.
Hi, Sarah. This is Chloe from Elevate Balloon Company in Athens, Ohio. I just wanted to give a quick tip on the products that I use to wrap my balloons. I use drop cloths, and for transporting balloons, I use Christmas tree removal bags. Hope this helps anybody.
Pro Tapes is a leading manufacturer of specialty tape products like Pro Gaff, Pro Artist Tape, and our favorite balloon tape, U-Glue, which helps you create amazing balloon arrangements and decorations in less time. You can save 5% on U-Glue when you buy directly from Having a Party using the code BRIGHT at checkout. And to help promote our brand new U-Glue hotline, I am giving the first 10 callers any free download of their choice from the Bright Balloon shop. That includes all templates, courses, or resources. So click the link in the show notes to call in and leave your question for the U-Glue hotline. What a great tip, Chloe. Thank you so much for calling in. And thank you so much to Misty for sharing so many tips and tricks on this episode. I know that I have so many takeaways. I'm definitely going to restructure how I price and advertise my helium bouquets, and I am going to order my set of those balloon tags so that I can slightly elevate my deliverables. So many awesome takeaways. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thanks for listening. I will catch you in the next episode. Thanks for listening. As usual, I tried to keep it bright and light. Our presenting sponsor is 17 Hats, the CRM I use to cut the chaos and manage my entire balloon business. From the lead capture form on my website to workflows and email templates, invoicing and grab-and-go garland automated bookings, it's all powered by 17 Hats, the best customer relationship management system for balloon businesses. There's even a 50% off coupon code waiting for you in the show notes wherever you're listening. I'll see you next week in another episode.